Hey guys, first of all, big apology for not posting last Sunday, but I tried really hard.
Please forgive me. I don't know what to do.
I had planned to share with you guys my vlog from that past week, and I had the most technical difficulties. I just couldn't figure it out. It was taking way too long, and I just decided to scrap it. Today's video is going to be me answering the questions that you left on my last Q&A video. So let's jump right in. Question number 1, where do you get your makeup inspiration? This might sound crazy to you guys, but honestly, it's from a vintage Barbie. I'm gonna see if I can find a picture of it and insert it somewhere here. She kind of has like a bold eyeliner look, and she had a pretty bold lip. Just always remember loving that Barbie's makeup. That might be one of the weirdest answers. How old are you and where are you wanting to travel next? I'm 29. I think these cheeks are keeping me young. I feel in my heart of hearts that I am meant to travel. Sadly, I don't get to do it enough as I'd like to. I would love to explore more of the US. Brian and I are planning to get married, and it's probably gonna happen overseas. I would love to explore more of Europe, and we'll be chatting more about that soon. What's your favorite item currently in the shop? That is a tough one for me because a lot of the things I purchase, I would totally wear. I would say either the edgier pieces from the Fifth Label or the super feminine springy looks that are coming in from Moon River. How did you and Brian meet? Oh my gosh! Brian and I were both actors, and he had just moved to New York. For those of you who don't know, I am originally from New York. Brian's from West Virginia, and I think it was about a month after he had moved to New York City to pursue an acting career that we met. And we had both gotten roles for a little independent show. We were actually riding the elevator up together to our rehearsal space. We both couldn't find the room, so we were just literally going around circles passing one another. And I don't know who asked who first, but someone said, hey, are you a part of this show? Said yes, and then there was this room that we were in with a very long table where we were doing a reading of the play. Brian decided to sit all the way across from me on the opposite side of this very long table, so we're both at the heads of the table, and he claims that I was giving him eyes, which was not the case. I was probably just staring into space, although I thought he was adorable. Shortly after that, I went to San Francisco because my cousin was there for business, and I had never been to the West Coast. So I thought it was a perfect opportunity to go ahead and visit the West Coast. And while I was there, I told my cousin, I was like, I'm pretty sure I met my future boyfriend. I don't know why, we barely spoke. And when I came back from that trip, he called me and invited me to coffee. The next question is, how do you decide what you want to put in the TSTC shop? And is it mostly based on personal style? So the answer to that is yes and no. And this is the tricky part about owning a shop and being the buyer of a shop, because you really want to focus on what's going to sell while still having an aesthetic. When I go to buying appointments, there are things that I personally love, and I love a very minimalistic look, more so recently, but I always like when there's like very interesting, unique details in a piece, and sometimes for the average woman, you know, it might be a little kooky. So I have to be careful there, because it's not like I can order like 1 or 2. You have to order these things in packs. I do find myself having to like reel myself in and say, is this what the vast majority wants? Are they gonna love this? Is this going to sell? Or is this just something that like 2 in 10 people will enjoy? Even though I wouldn't wear absolutely everything in this shop, I love the pieces that I select for the shop. So it is slightly based on personal style, a hint of like trend. Also going to trade shows and just keeping an eye on brands, whether it's in magazines or on blogs, or if I just come across them on Instagram or during a Google search, I make note of the brands that really catch my eye. Do you have a favorite designer and shops that you like to frequent? I don't know that I have a favorite designer per se. There's one brand that's really been catching my eye called The Arrivals, and they're slightly more expensive, but I really just love the clean, like edgy, like badass aesthetic. Back in the day, I would have said Marc Jacobs. I just think he's such a cool designer, really unique pieces. Shops I like to frequent, my shop these days. I am not much of a shopper anymore, but I will say that I prefer to shop online. I get overwhelmed and I feel a little like anxiety stricken when I'm in big stores now, especially when it's like the weekend. So I prefer to shop online, but like I said, not to be biased or anything, but I pretty much wear things from the shop because number 1, I love the pieces, and number 2, it's like a form of advertisement. How long have Brian and I been together? We have been together for 6 years. and about 2 months. When you started your original blog, how did you get people to notice, follow you? For me personally, it's been a very, very slow progression, which recently I have been okay with. It's such a competitive field in the blogging industry that it can really consume your mind and you're like, what's wrong with me? I'm not growing as quickly as X, Y, and Z. I think really fine-tuning your brand and having a concise mission, that is something that I continuously work on till this day. Another thing to keep in mind is perhaps your growth is a little slower than others, but you want to attract the right people. You don't want people to just follow you to follow you. You want people to follow you because they support you and they believe in your brand. They want to know how you feel about things. They want to know your recommendations. They want to hear from you. Here's the thing, consistency is number one. Try to stay consistent on a blog schedule. That's something that I want to work on in 2017. There have been periods where I've been so on a roll, but it gets a little tricky and it can be a bit of a challenge when you have so many other things going on in your life. I thought it would be easier now that I work from home to be consistent with the blog, but it's proven to be even more challenging than it was before because the shop is my full-time job and there is so much systematic maintenance and housekeeping that needs to go on that I'm trying to be more organized about. I'm a one-woman show, so it's a little trickier for me to be consistent, but that is something, even if it's one post a week. Say, hey guys, I'm gonna post every Tuesday at 10 a.m. and they'll know to look for it. Blog collaborations, so collaborating with other brands that you love and asking them to feature you via their social media channels, as well as collaborating with other bloggers. That's a great way to increase your outreach and learning what hashtags work for you as well. You should do a little research, play around, and see where people really latch onto. All right, guys, so that sums up this video. As mentioned at some point in this Q&A, I am trying to get more organized in life and in business, and I'm hiring people to help me with that, aka an attorney, an accountant. So I have a lot of organizing to do, a lot of filing to do, and all that jazz. And I really, even at home, I want to get super organized. So the deal is I'm gonna post whenever I can on YouTube until I finish all of these other back-end details so that I can truly focus on making these videos, because right now it's become a little bit of a stressor for me trying to find the time to really squeeze a video or for me to film here and there. So I don't want to make any promises I can't keep. Therefore, the videos will be a little sporadic, but they'll be coming, and I hope you guys understand. I just want to be able to get a little bit of stress off of my shoulders so that I can focus on creating wonderful content for you guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe if you did. Give this video a thumbs up. If you have any other questions or suggestions for video topics or any of that jazz, please feel free to leave them down below. And I will see you guys very soon, I hope. Bye!